Hello, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about electrical safety around your home. Every year, 600 people die from electrical causes. This number could dramatically drop if everybody just stopped and took a minute to learn a few safety tips. So today we're in this home and we're going to learn some tips about how to make your house more electrical safe. So if you go ahead and join me, we're going to walk into the kitchen and see what's going on in there. Disha, what are you doing?
Making soup.
Okay, well that's good, but you should not try and make soup around the water and the electrical appliance on at the same time. Because if the water got to the plug, it could electrocute you. So what you should do is turn off the water and move the appliance back, and then try and open up the can opener. And when you're done with the can opener, then turn the water back on. Tip number 1 is to make sure to never use an electrical appliance around a water source. Tip number 2 involves the electrical box, so we're going to go ahead and walk over to this family's electrical box and see how safe it is over there. This is an electrical box. An electrical box has all the fuses in this family's home. With an electrical box, you should never have anything blocking it, not have anything over it, or have like a laundry basket next to it or anything like that. Because if one of these fuses were to blow, it could create a fire. So that's just not a good idea. So this family is demonstrating a good job with safety with their electrical box because they don't have anything blocking it, they don't have anything covering it. It's in an open place where nothing can catch on fire. So they're doing a good job here. So the next place we're going to go is into the living room and check out tip number 3. Tip number 3 says to never overload your plugins. Overloading your plugin could mean putting extensions together to try and make more room for plugins, having your cords all twisted together, trying to jam plugins into spots that there aren't any openings, trying to squeeze the prongs of your plug to fit into the plug-in. These are not any good ideas. Don't ever try to do them because they could result in electrocution. So as you can see over here, this family is demonstrating a good job with safety with not overloading their plugs. They have one plug-in for each spot. Their cords are not tangled up. There's no extra extension cords plugged in together. They're not trying to jam in plugins or anything. So this is a very safe plug-in. The next tip is tip number 4. Tip number 4 says to never try and have a cord go underneath the carpet or through a doorway. This can result in static electricity on your floor, and it could also result into a fire. So as you can see down here, this family is not doing a very good job with this because they have a cord that's going underneath this carpet. So what this family should do is probably remove the cord or try and put the rug in a different spot so that they don't mix together. The tip number 5 is to make sure to never stick anything into a plug-in, such as a paper clip, a screwdriver, or a key, or anything of that sort, because there's electricity behind the plug-in, and the electricity could go through the metal and into your body, and it could electrocute you, resulting in death. So this is not a good idea to do, so don't ever stick anything into a plug-in at all, besides a plug. And tip number 6 is the last tip, and we'll go ahead and show you over here. Tip number 6 says when you're unplugging something, you should never try and yank the cord. You should always grab it at the plug. So you should never try and go like this and yank it out. You should always just grab it by the plug and gently release it. Because if you try and yank it out or you pull badly at it, there could be a spark that comes out and it could electrocute you. So that's not a good idea either. So those conclude our tips for today. This family is demonstrating a really good job on electrical safety. The only issue that they really had was they had the cord going underneath the carpet. So if they take care of that, then their house is pretty safe against electrical injuries. So if you can remember my tips, like tip number 1, never use an appliance near a water source. Tip number 2, make sure your electrical box is free of debris. Tip number 3, make sure that you don't overload your plugs. Tip number 4, never have a cord going under a carpet or through a doorway. Tip number 5, never stick anything into a plug-in. And tip number 6, make sure when you're unplugging a plug to gently unplug it by the plug and not by the cord. So if you remember these things, your family and friends will be saved from electrical caused injuries. Thank you for joining us.